Hi, and welcome to Georgina Blooms. Today we're at Georgina Garden Center, and we are doing native plants. You won't want to miss this. You gotta have them and everything else. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, and joining me is Shannon Lindensmith, manager of Georgina Garden Center. And a few years ago, you had a native plant section that it uprated itself, that didn't do all that well at the time. And now it's hard to...
Because people realize the importance of native plants.
Yes.
Yes. You need them.
So they support the biodiversity of what was here before people brought other stuff.
Mm-hmm. And before we cleared it all out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when you talk about native plants, it's not taking away from being able to have beautiful specimens.
100%, yes.
But it is, have a smattering.
Yes, it's nice to have a mix of both. Because some people don't want, I'm not going to say wild look, but wild look of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people want a cleaned up looking front yard, say even.
Yeah.
So you could do that in the front, make the back more native. You can still mix the two. It's like, it'd be like in the house too. It's like in the house too when you mix some antiques with some more modern stuff. It's same thing with the natives. You can mix and match, but you should have some natives in there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was surprised at the list of plants that I do have, simply because they're beautiful.
Yes.
And they're well behaved. That are very complimentary in the garden.
And I think what you just said too, that are well behaved, I think that's why some people maybe steer away from natives, because they think they're going to go wild and take over everything and unruly, which some could, but a lot of them don't. And again, if we look after them properly, they won't either, right?
Most of them do not.
Yep.
Most of them are not considered invasive.
Invasive, exactly.
And they're not considered prohibited or not wanted.
Right.
The government of Ontario does have a list of those that are invasive and prohibited. And there's also a booklet called it's Beautiful Non-Invasive Plants for Your Garden. These are all native plants, and it's what to plant instead. So in the book, they'll have, they'll have, Norway different maple trees and what to plant instead. Unfortunately, you can't. I tried ordering. I wanted 200 of these so I could share with you and with our garden club. Their funding was denied. So if you go online and in your search engine just put in "grow this instead" in Ontario, this booklet will come up online.
It's a very handy little book.
It is.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's not available is sad. But these are just a few of the plants that are carried at the garden center. And you have really nice identifiable markers on the plants. So this one,
the whole tag is yellow, so you know it's native.
And it has a little banner
Yep.
that says native.
And then we also have on the side as well here, we do have a native sticker we've put on as well, just to make it a little bit more noticeable as well. Just so it's easier when you're looking through everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you have plants that say native, but they're
It's native
white.
R.
Native R.
So
we're going to get to that. It's a new word.
Yes.
But the selection of plants is awesome. And this is a wild strawberry. It's loaded.
Yeah. Yep.
So when you come here, if the fruit is ripe,
take a taste test for sure.
Yeah. So wild strawberry, and strawberry does its thing with
Little runners.
yeah,
Yep.
touch the ground and start again.
Yes.
So this is really easy to remove. But when you do strawberries, let it have its own little section. And little ones, kids, as well as adults, but kids love picking fruit.
And that really gets them into gardening when they can,
Yeah.
well, even adults too, when you're interactive with the plant, but kids really like when you can
Eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
And this one is the geranium. No, is it?
Can't see.
It looks like.
It's a prairie alum root.
Oh. I'm not familiar with that one.
It gets almost like I think like a foam flower-ish type bloom off the top of it.
And
Yes.
foam flower is another one that's...
It's not exactly like that, but similar. And I think we've gone through 2 shipments of those because they're in their bloom. They were gorgeous.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. And this is the aster, blue sky aster.
And I think we have a few different types of asters as well. There's bluebird smooth. That
Okay.
one's sky blue. So there are a few different types as well.
Okay. And asters are, this one blooms closer to the fall?
It'll be later in the season, yes.
Okay.
And they almost look like I always think like a blue daisy. You know, like
Okay.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
a daisy-ish. It has
Yeah.
a yellow center, but it has like the blue petals all around it.
Yeah.
They're really pretty.
And the foliage is similar to phlox. And this one, because there are grasses as well, this is a switchgrass.
Yes.
Red flame.
So as the summer, so it comes up green, and as the summer goes on, you'll get the red tips, and then in fall, it will look like it's flaming. It'll be all red or dark purple.
Oh, very pretty. And this is a well-behaved grass?
Yes, it is. It doesn't. And they'll say on the back here too, it will tell you how it grows. And it says, you can tell by height and width. See, it only grows 3 feet or 2 feet wide.
Okay, okay.
So if it's like 6 feet wide, it's getting a little bigger.
Yeah, because some grasses are not you know, necessarily well-behaved.
Yes, this is a well-behaved one.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is a very familiar plant to most.
That's a liatris.
Yes.
And one thing with all the natives as well is they all attract pollinators.
Perfect.
Yes.
Stay tuned. We've got more to show you. Welcome back. And we were talking about liatris. So there's the one that we all know, and it's also a native plant. And the bloom stalk on these is really, really pretty. It's a well-behaved plant.
They get really tall,
Yeah.
purple spike.
And it's the one flower spike that's tall that opens up from the top down. Most of them open from the bottom up.
Yes.
And pollinators you had mentioned. So seeing, bee-friendly plants as well. Most are, and you want native plants to support the native insects.
Yes.
And butterflies.
Yes.
And birds and bees. And invasive non-native plants take away from that biodiversity.
Yes.
Which is not good.
Yes. And these, we were saying the liatris, the bees and the butterflies love these. When they start blooming,
Yes.
yes. So it's really nice. And they actually make a nice cut flower too. I don't like to cut them. I like to keep them out in the garden.
Yeah. So I don't cut the flowers in my garden because they've been cut somewhere else. So I go somewhere else and get those.
Nice.
That's the whole point of me having a garden. But so native plants do support what should be there in the first place. This one, this is their last one. You must have run out big time.
This is the native
coneflower.
And it's funny, you're gonna, like some people might think, oh, it's a little spindly. It hasn't opened up all the way, but it is not like the echinacea we're used to, like the shorter variety that has a very full petals. It is a thinner petal on it, but that opens up the same way, but it is a thinner petal.
So
but they're gorgeous.
When the petals are thinner and not thick of a flower, it's easier access. Bees don't have to work as hard. Butterflies don't have to work as hard to get to the pollen.
And this will stay straight up when it's in the garden because it will need to be staked and then it will grow straight and it forms a nice big clump.
Yes.
Yes.
That takes time.
Yes.
So purple coneflower must-have item.
Do you want this one next? Black-eyed Susan?
Black-eyed Susan. Like, Black-eyed Susan is the easiest plant to grow. I've got it as a border around 3 garden beds. It's easy to grow. It's easy to take out of the ground when you have it where you don't want it. And it's a fall blooming flower, which is great. It adds color and interest to your garden as the summer wears down.
It blooms for a long time. And even if the blooms are done, you still leave it up and it doesn't look like you need to deadhead them. Like they still look fine.
No, it's like the coneflower. They're related somehow, or
they have to be. They're not, but they have to be.
Yeah.
They look so similar or similar-ish.
And Black-eyed Susan is really easy to come by. And a lot of people leave the coneflower and Black-eyed Susan up for the winter for the seed heads.
What do you do with the seed heads?
I imitate Shannon because Shannon uses them for arrangements, fall arrangements.
And do you put them in your garden to ward off anything? Little spikies?
Oh.
Is that you that does that? Or is that rose thorn? Don't you put them through the garden and then if animal critters go in, they don't like the feel?
Oh, I do. It's anything
is that these?
with spikes.
Yeah, okay.
So
but they do look good in arrangements too in the fall.
Yes, and when you've done arrangements here for the fall, who thinks of the coneflower provides a really nice big head that looks really, really cool in flower arrangements. This one is a tall aster. Is this the same aster? No, it's not.
No, this is Bluebird Smooth.
So this is the difference in asters. Even the leaves are different.
Yep.
But they're both so this is the native R.
Yeah, mine's the native R. Yours is the native.
Right.
And yours grows up to 3 feet, and this one grows up to 3 feet as well, 3 feet by 4 feet.
Okay. So a native R is almost.
It's almost the native. It's just slightly changed.
Okay.
But it's almost the native. You can still consider it a native.
Okay, it's still good for the environment and for your garden.
Yes.
So the other thing is, for asters, when they grow this tall, do you cut them back like you would chrysanthemums for them to be a thicker?
You can, but this one's going to be 4 feet tall anyway, so it's going to be a big guy.
Oh, cool.
Mums, you're talking about like your mums that are grown as an annual,
right?
Even though they're hardy,
right?
Those ones you cut back to keep them that more condensed, preferred look on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
let these be.
Don't do anything.
Yeah.
Just plant them.
Yes.
And this one, so my thought when I saw this, and there's the bloom. Oops. What is this one? This is a
narrow leaf blue star.
So this reminded me of a fine leaf coreopsis.
Very similar to that, isn't it? The look of this, the bloom is nothing like it, but the look of the plant looks like that.
Yeah.
It's very pretty. It's very pretty.
They do look like little stars. And so this one is And it's also beef. Has it done its blooming?
No,
it's
no,
just
because all of
starting?
these, it's just starting. All of these will be blooms, all the tips.
Okay, there's
Yes.
bloom stock
Yeah.
there. That's so.
Oh, wait. This one's new to me too, so that's why I haven't really said anything. But it says excellent golden orange fall color. Ideal in a woodland garden, mixed border, or wild flower garden. Grows 3 to 4 feet high and wide.
Oh, cool.
That's nice.
So, even in your regular garden,
Mm-hmm.
come the fall, now you're looking for colors as
Yeah.
well. Not only, so my first thought is that not only does it provide a difference in foliage, which
Mm-hmm.
is what you want as well, but to provide fall color is awesome.
Bonus. Yeah, that's really nice.
Big time.
Yep.
Another one that we have here, very tall.
Here, I'm gonna put this one down.
Okay.
And I'll put this one down.
And this is a swamp milkweed.
Because I also want to do this one.
Swamp milkweed. So you hear the word weed in any any plant, and they become suspect. But this is not. This is a very.
It's along the lines of the milkweed everyone's after as well for the monarchs.
Right.
But this is, like you said, a swamp milkweed.
Right.
Yes. And it'll get the same similar flower on it. Yep.
And I just think supporting, we have a hard time of seeing monarch butterflies, period. At least have the food here for them.
And this one here too, like you say swamp, so people are like, oh, I don't want to. But if you had a pond or like a little waterfall that's a little bit more wet, or if you have a moist area,
a lower part in your garden,
then this would be perfect for that.
Absolutely. And I planted mine by the vegetable garden, which is right by the.
Well, that's perfect because you're bringing pollinators to it.
Oh, who knew?
Isn't that why you did it?
No, it's right by our rain barrel.
Oh, nice.
So it's easy to.
We also have this one, narrowleaf mountain mint.
Oh, okay. You hear the word mint?
Let's see. It says, being called mountain mint, it's not a true mint. Thrives in dry, rocky soils and can be found growing near streams and wet thickets. Leaves are aromatic, thin, needle-like. Produces massive white flowers, and it grows 3 to 4 feet, or 2 to 3 feet high and wide too.
It's
cool, eh? I like it.
And
I haven't seen this one either.
Nice.
That's why I'm like,
smelling.
Oh, it does smell nice. It doesn't smell overly minty though.
No, and I have, mint. Anyway, stay tuned. We have more. Welcome back. We moved to trees and shrubs, except for this guy, and he's kind of tall. This is I've never heard of this, golden Alexanders. And so the flowers kind of look like dill or Queen Anne's lace, closer to Queen Anne's lace, but the flowers are yellow, and it supports bees and
butterflies. It has nectar for butterflies.
Yeah.
And it's in the carrot family, which is also odd, but it is what it is.
Well, when you look at the bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's really cool. It's gone over well too. I think this is our second shipment of them as well.
So, and the leaves are like, the leaves are serrated on the edges like Veronica.
And like you were saying before with the other perennials, it adds another form of texture in there, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm absolutely thrilled at, well, I'm thrilled, number one, to learn more. I hope you are. But I'm really impressed with what you see that's not invasive, that's good for everything. And I can see spots in my garden where...
I figured this one would be going home with you.
Well, okay, I can't, yeah. I'll be back.
Stay tuned.
I almost live here. So, anyways, beside you is?
I have a pagoda dogwood here. native as well as some other dogwoods. This is probably in my top 5 favorite shrubs, trees, whatever. It is a large shrub, small tree. It gets little clusters of white flowers that are flat, so your pollinators can like land on it.
Okay.
They get berries later, great fall color, easy, can grow in a little bit of a wet, moist area. It's not fully, don't let it sit in water.
Right.
But like, as you know, dogwoods can have, like in the spring, say wet feet.
Right.
But it grows up, it probably grows, I'm gonna say maybe 10, 12 feet tall, but as you can see here, it's layered. So all the leaves, it's not like a full bush.
It's a very
It's really cool
looking
and
tree.
multi-stemmed. And then your winter interest is your red bark.
Cool.
This one is a Canadian red bud.
Nice.
It has heart-shaped leaves. It'd be very similar, and a sport of it, or native would be like an eastern red bud. You know, some of them are really, you have the dark leaf, the red leaf, and they get the really pretty pink little flowers in the in the spring, almost before the leaves come out.
Yep.
That's another nice one.
And this is?
My all-time favorite, serviceberry.
Okay, but it's loaded.
Yes, with berries. Some people call them Juneberry.
Okay.
Yep. They are very tasty, and if you can beat the birds for them, the birds usually beat you for them. But you can let the birds have them. No, they're not ripe yet. They go blue like a blueberry almost.
Oh.
And they are very, very tasty. So the serviceberry, I like the clump form. There is a tree form as well. I like the clump form, which has the multi-stemmed.
Right.
In the spring, it's covered in white blooms.
Nice.
Then the leaves come out. Then the berries come out, and the berries turn every color. From green, we see pink, it will go red, purple, blue, everything. And then your fall color is your yellow, oranges, reds.
Oh, wow.
It's really pretty.
Yeah. And that's, this one I've heard of a lot because it is a native plant and it is so pretty and it provides food. So we, and this is just a smattering of native plants, but they're hard to come by at times. And I strongly urge people to do that. Support local biodiversity. Do a little research. It's really good with kids to research and then come and buy the plant and put it in your garden. And know that, you know, you can wait for the butterflies, you can wait for the hummingbirds and the bees. We need to do that more. Go to Pop In, Plant This Instead is awesome information about what is invasive and what you can plant that's native that will do the same thing. But I thank you so very much.
This was fun. I learned stuff on this one too.
See, you're going to have to watch the show.
Yes.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you to Georgina Garden Center. As always, it's a huge learning experience. And thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions or topics you want to hear about, just email me, knbruce@rogers.com. Till then, plant your native plants and create a healthy environment for you, your kids, and everyone around. Bye for now. Very cool. It is.